again, everybody. This is George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape, and today's project is going to be how to lay a circular paver patio. So the first thing I want to tell you, I want to try and talk you through every step of this thing so that you can see how it is. Obviously, the more details you know, the easier it's going to be for you to accomplish this. So if you're at home or you're thinking about doing a paver patio, this will be good for you. Hopefully you'll learn some tips. First thing you want to do is find the location you want to put it. So what we did in this circumstance is we have a nice house up here, and we're going to create a walkway that comes off this house. Basically, our walkway is going to come from here. It's going to come out, it's going to meet up with our circular paver patio. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is, we found a spot in the lawn where it's the most level. We're going to have to do some leveling here because obviously you want your patio to be nice and level. So we've done that already. Then what I do is I put a steel spike in the ground. Okay, now it's going to be a circular patio, so what I want to do is be able to make a perfect circle out of this thing. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just tying a loose knot in this around my spike right here. Okay, that's the first thing, and you can get this string line at any, your Home Depots, whatnot, wherever. Steel spikes, same thing. And now what you want to do, now I know I want my patio to be 18 feet across roughly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm dividing that by 9. So if I put this on this spike and I come out here, so 9 feet is right here. Alright, so now I'm going to pull my wire, I'm going to pull my string line tight at 9 feet. Alright, and now I can get rid of this. I already know where 9 feet is, it's right here. So what I want to do is keep this at 9 feet. Alright, I know where that mark is. This is going to be 9 feet. Now, same thing with the spray cans. You can get this upside down paint, and it works really good. You get a little holder like this, or you can just have a regular spray can and walk around and shoot it. But now I know where 9 feet is, and I've got it right here. So I'm going to line up my stick with this, and I'm going to go around in a circle, spray my 9 feet. Alright, so now, if you can get a shot, Evan, of the ground, and just show them how that line is, so they can see what to do, or see what we're trying to do here. Alright. Alright, take your line level off, or your line off. And then what we're going to use is a sod cutter, and obviously not everybody has one of these. We're fortunate enough that we do, but we use this to cut the sod out. Now you can rent these at your different stores, but what you try to do is line up. You can kind of come up here having a look at where the blade is on this thing. So you want to line up this blade with our paint mark, if you can see it on the ground there. it's just our first round, and as you can see, it cuts this loose, and then we'll come around and we'll peel all this off, and we're going to have to dig down. We probably want to dig down. You want at least 6 inches of base on your project. All right, so that's the first step here. I'll get back to you in a little bit and we'll show you a few more things. So now the work begins. So we got to get all the sod out of here right now. So, fortunate enough for me again, I have a skid steer to help me with this project. But if you don't have a skid steer, make a lot of wheelbarrow trips. If you wonder why landscapers charge the way they do, this is it. Okay, so now we've gotten our sod out of here, and we've dug down to get our 6 inches of base, and you absolutely want that minimum of 6 inches on here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to compact the sub base. So the sub base is all of this down here. Okay, it's very important that you compact that before you start bringing in any of your base materials. So that's what I'm going to do right now. We have a plate compactor that we use. And we also have a hand tamper that works good, but these things by far work great. So. Okay, now that we've got our sub base all compacted, now we're ready for your normal base that you put down underneath pavers. Now, depending on where you're at, you know, which state, everybody uses something different. Here, where we're doing this project right now is in Wisconsin, and what I like to use is limestone screenings. Limestone screenings, I have them up here in the bucket, I'll show you in a second, but those seem to pack way harder than like your crushed red granite, things like that. Never put sand in here if you can help it. That's the old way of doing things. Sand is like, I like to refer to it as a bunch of ball bearings, like marbles. You know, like when you walk on sand, you feel how it shifts all the time underneath your feet. Well, that's what sand does. It moves constantly. So I'd highly recommend you don't use sand, and we don't use it at all anymore for this. Okay, well now we've got our sub base, was all compacted originally. And then after that we put our base material in. Now these are the limestone screenings that I was telling you about. They pack pretty hard, you know, once you run across them with the compactors. So we put them in. I know I've got at least 6 inches of base, so now anything more that I put in is just going to make them stronger, okay? So now what I got to do is I want to run the compactor across this, then we're going to bring out the stakes and we'll move on to that step in a minute. Okay, now that we've got our base put in and we've got it compacted, we compact every 2 inches when we do this, and I know that these plate compactors are supposed to pack like 2 to 3 feet forward, 2 to 3, 4 feet down, and I don't know, I just have a better feeling about just packing it every 2 inches and, you know, just bring it up in layers, which is what we've done. Also, if you add a little bit of water to it while you're doing it, it helps things pack harder, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to get some stakes. And the idea behind what we're doing now is we have to get this thing level, okay? So basically, I mean, you can't stand back and look at these things and say, oh, that looks pretty good, and then throw your pavers down, because if you do that, it's going to be off. You're going to have waves in it everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pound in a bunch of these stakes all the way around, then we're going to run a string line. So I'll just kind of show you real quickly what I'm talking about here. All right, that's just one. Not going to waste your time putting them all in, but I'll get back to you in a second and I'll show you what we do after this.